What up, what up? It's H-O-G. Back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is going to be Life After a Tech Layoff 3 months later, or 90 days later, however you want to put it. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers that subscribe to my channel. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves. I'm trying to give y'all leverage, man, because I'm telling you, in this day and age, in this job market, everybody needs leverage. Everybody. I don't care how much knowledge you think you have or you do have, or how many connections you have, or how many, prospects you have. Everybody needs leverage, man, because I'm telling you, you think you have it all figured out, and then life hits you in the face, and you feel like it's all over. So let's get into it. So life after a tech layoff 3 months later. So I'm gonna break down a little synopsis as far as like what I've been doing in these 3 months after my layoff, and then what I've been doing to try to move forward. Certain things that I've done to make sure that I keep my mind occupied and not get into a space where I'm getting depressed and I feel like things not gonna be on the up and up, because I know eventually this will pass and it will work itself out. But in the meantime, a lot of times when people see reality like really in their face, it's like I can't see anything else. They get blinders put on themselves and they can't see any way out. Well, I got a lot of resilience, so that don't really bother me that much. But even H-O-G can get into a situation to where he's not feeling all that great, or not himself, especially when he doesn't have the money that he had before. You know what I'm saying? I think anybody be in that space. You know what I'm saying? You have your income decreased, and it's like especially when it comes down, you have a huge decrease in income, which I had. So like I said before in another video, when I first got laid off, I was on LinkedIn and Indeed and Glassdoor, Monster. There's a couple of local websites with the county that I live in that actually had job postings. So I was on it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that first 30 days, every single day, almost all day, I was up there, making sure I applied for jobs. That's the reason why I said in another video that at this point I've applied to over 200. And I know a lot of folks will say that's cap, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I will say is that I'm not saying that every single job that I applied for was IT, because it wasn't. Some of them were similar to what an IT job is, and it actually dealt with tech, but it wasn't a sysadmin job. It may not have been a cybersecurity job. It may not have been a SOC analyst. It may not have been a cloud infrastructure guy or a software developer or a software engineer, which I have applied to those jobs, but there have been some jobs that I applied to that kind of dealt with my skill set, but not too much, because at the end of the day, pickers can't be choosers. So it's like one of those things, like when you see one thing not working, then you have to kind of pivot to the other thing and see if that works and see if that takes hold. So I tried not to stray too much outside of IT, because I don't want to do anything else outside of IT. But what I will say is that if it comes down to where I get a secure job that actually makes me a decent amount of money and it's not IT, you best believe I'm going to be on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Provided that it still stays somewhat within the genre of IT, because I do want to stay in that space. I'm not going to lie about that. But at the end of the day, a job is a job, man. You know what I'm saying? So, until I'm able to do better and I'm able to scale my business, then of course, I'd be a fool to give up a job that's going to pay me, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year, and I refuse to take that job because it's not IT. Like, it doesn't make any sense. If I have a skill set that can mirror what the job description has, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'll just stay there until I get something better. And who knows? You know what I'm saying? God may not even want me to stay in IT. He may want me to pivot to something else. Who knows? So here's the thing. What I've realized. These one of the things I've realized since I've been laid off. For one, there's a lot of things in life that you have no control over, right? I'm not saying everything. I'm just saying there's certain things in life that happens to you that you don't have any control over. And the thing is that, you know, when you put yourself in a mind space where you get really upset and angry at the world, maybe even at God, you know, that he put you in this situation, or society as a whole put you in this situation, you know, you have to really put things in perspective and be like, you know what, this happened, you know, I'm upset that it happened, and, you know, I do have feelings about it, I do feel some type of way about it, but at the end of the day, you know, even though this happened, you know, I need to figure out what I'm going to be able to do about this, right? Because a lot of times in life, your reaction to things is what's more important than what happened to you, right? So, you know, it's for anything in life. You know, I could be a sports player and I get injured, right? And, you know, a lot of times when it comes to professional sports, you know, depending on what kind of injury you have, it might be over for you, right? And of course, if you're a sports player, a professional sports player, most of your income, for the most part, especially the ones that come in like brand new, like in the early 20s, the bulk of their money, it comes from the sport, right? So once you get injured and that particular franchise feel like you're not going to get any better, then you're going to get let go. That means that you lost a job, just like any other job, right? So that means you lost your income. So what do you do after that, right? How do you react to that? Do you fold? Do you lay down and cry and you know, just be in a situation to where like you think the thing is not going to get better? No, you don't do that. So that's one of the things that I've actually like really took hold and actually like embodied as I've been laid off. Right, this situation happened to me. I could not control this. This happened not because of my performance. It didn't happen because of something I did. It happened because of something that somebody else did. Right, if that makes any sense. So I can't get angry at the situation. What I have to do is make sure that the situation doesn't take over me and doesn't put me in a situation to where, you know, I can't move forward, because folks will get stagnant and they will stay in a place of misery for a long period of time, and then sometimes folks cannot break out of that. And once you put yourself in that situation, man, I'm telling you, it's rough. It's really rough, man. You know what I'm saying? So we can't do that. We just can't do that. I would say the second month that I was laid off, I did focus more on family. I did focus more on, you know, spending more time with my wife and my children. Because at one point, for about a week or so, whatever, it's not that I stopped applying for jobs. What I did was I slowed down a lot, because I was almost burning myself out, you know. I'm pretty sure a lot of folks will relate to that particular aspect of it. They're like, you know, sometimes when you actually apply for jobs, it really be a job, man. It could be a job to try to find a job. And application burnout is real. I'm just making a terminology up, you know what I'm saying? But it's a real thing, man. You can be up on your laptop or your desktop or whatever you're using to apply for jobs for hours on end, and you feel like you get no traction. You feel like nothing is happening, right? And it just gets to a point where like you just get frustrated, and you just get like, you know, I'm not getting the callbacks every time that I apply for a job online. You know, I'm getting a situation to where I get a rejection letter immediately. One recruiter told me one time that yeah, that's cap. Like, you know, rejection letters don't really come out like that. A lot of times, you know, a recruiter will see the application before it hits. Maybe in her company, but I'm telling you, AI is real when it comes to the applications, man. I'm telling you, there are some automation going on in this job market to where like these jobs will post. These companies will post jobs that they have no intention of hiring anybody, and then they'll have AI set up to where like it may wait a day or two, and then it reject it, right? And you never had a chance of getting that job, and you put all the effort into actually submitting the application, filling out whatever you needed to fill out to apply for, and then it's all for nothing. So that can really frustrate people, you know. But yeah, man, like that second month, I really buckled down with trying to be with my family a lot more, spending more time. You know, in my mindset, I'm like, you know, I got savings. I have residual income coming in. You know, so even though I'm not getting the money that I had before, you know, I should not be panicking. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be okay. My family's gonna be okay. So let me get off this laptop for at least about, you know, a day or two, maybe even more, and then you know, sit down and actually just, you know, start chopping it with my family. That's what I did. So this last month, this last 30 days, it's been a combination of both, right? I've been, of course, applying for jobs. Actually, I got an interview tomorrow in Northern Virginia. And then I also have another interview that's coming up within the next week or so with that Virginia Tech job that I was mentioned before in another video. You know, so things on the up and up. Plus, I got two more comments from LinkedIn when it comes to jobs, recruiters that hit me up. So, you know, after 90 days, man, you know, a lot of folks would really put themselves in a mind space of like things not going to get any better. But for myself, I feel like things are on the up and up. I think 90 days is the sweet spot, honestly. I think after 90 days, you actually pushing forward and, you know, those rejection letters and actually having recruiters not calling you back and ghosting you. I think once you hit the 90-day mark, I think things start to flatten out. And I think that once I got laid off during that time when I got furloughed, I think there was a really high amount of people that was getting furloughed at the same time in this area. Now things are starting to taper off. So it seems like the job market I'm not gonna say it's getting any better. I'm just saying that, you know, it seems like the job market right now is actually starting to flatten out a little bit, and I think recruiters are more susceptible to actually like really trying to get candidates to be able to secure jobs. So in any case, man, you know, like life is life after being laid off as a tech person can be frustrating, man. It can be frustrating. It can be a situation to where like you feel like things not getting any better. But, you know, I cannot teach resilience from my perspective. There are some classes out there that you can actually take that will teach you how to be resilient. But only thing I can tell you, man, is, you know, have faith in God, have faith in your skill set you have faith in yourself, right? Because if you had a job that was making you 6 figures and you got laid off without, you know, as far as like it wasn't your fault you got laid off, then what makes you think that you can't get anything else better than that, right? It shouldn't be an issue. The job market is what preventing you from getting a job right now. It's not you, right? So all you gotta do is keep pushing and you'll get through it. I promise you will. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm gonna discuss topic or subject you think to benefit your channel. Email me at asog757@gmail.com. My email address is description below. Say so G signing out. I'm gone.